On December 18, 2025, Google sent a stark internal memo to its global workforce, sending ripples of concern through its offices around the world. The message, delivered by BAL Immigration Law, urged employees on U.S. visas to seriously reconsider any plans for international travel, especially as the year drew to a close. This wasn't about health concerns or global unrest. It was about the very real risk of not being able to return to the U.S. after leaving, a fear that had suddenly become urgent. The advisory specifically targeted those who would need a new visa stamp at a U.S. embassy or consulate before re-entering the country, a process now fraught with uncertainty. For many, leaving the U.S. now meant facing immense difficulty securing a visa appointment abroad, with backlogs and limited slots making the process nearly impossible in some regions. The warning, echoing a similar one from September, signaled a worsening crisis for international staff, as the situation had only grown more dire in recent months. The timing, right before the holidays, heightened anxiety for thousands of international staff, many of whom had hoped to reunite with family or take long-awaited trips home. Google's legal team made it clear, international travel could mean an extended, uncertain stay outside the U.S., with no guarantee of a quick return to work or loved ones. The risk of being separated from work, home, and life in America was too great for most to take, forcing many to cancel plans and face the reality of missing important family moments. For many skilled workers, the U.S. border had effectively become a one-way gate. Leaving meant risking everything they had built, with no clear path back. The root of Google's warning? It all comes down to a crisis that's been quietly building for years, now erupting into the open. Massive delays at U.S. embassies and consulates worldwide have reached unprecedented levels, leaving thousands in limbo. In some countries, the wait for a non-immigrant visa appointment now stretches up to a year, or even longer in certain cases, forcing applicants to put their lives on hold. Employees from tech talent hubs like India and China face what amounts to a geographic lottery. Some may return in weeks, while others are stranded for months, uncertain when they'll be able to rejoin their teams. A short family visit or business trip can unexpectedly turn into a year-long exile, derailing not just careers, but also family plans, education, and personal milestones. The backlog is fueled by pandemic shutdowns, chronic staff shortages, and a surge in post-pandemic travel demand, creating a perfect storm of delays. Embassies are overwhelmed, struggling to process years of pent-up applications, with staff working overtime just to keep up. New, stricter vetting procedures and additional security checks have only slowed things further, adding more layers of complexity to an already overburdened system. For Google, this is more than an inconvenience. It's a direct threat to its global operations, affecting everything from product launches to team cohesion. The inability to move talent freely disrupts projects, collaboration, and morale, making it harder for teams to innovate and deliver on tight deadlines. These delays expose a critical vulnerability in the tech industry's reliance on international talent, highlighting just how interconnected and fragile the system has become. Google's memo is a public acknowledgement of a crisis years in the making and a call to action for policymakers and industry leaders alike. The U.S. immigration system's bottleneck is now impossible to ignore, with real consequences for people, businesses, and the country's global competitiveness. H-1B visa holders are hit hardest by these travel restrictions. The H-1B is the backbone of the U.S. tech sector, bringing in top engineers and developers from abroad. But the visa stamp in their passport often expires before their work authorization does. Leaving the U.S. means risking being stranded abroad, unable to return to their job or life.
The delays cripple the talent pipeline. A project leader stuck overseas can stall entire teams and company roadmaps.
Many H-1B workers have built lives in the U.S., homes, families, communities. Now, they face a painful choice: miss family milestones abroad, or risk losing everything they've built in America. Google's advisory is a formal recognition of this harsh reality. For Google's foreign staff, international travel is now a high-stakes gamble. The main risk being unable to return to the U.S. for months, or even a year. Extended absence can jeopardize employment legal status and everything built in America.
The uncertainty is crushing. A short trip could mean missing critical work or being separated from family indefinitely. Teams are forced to create costly contingency plans, undermining productivity and morale.
The personal toll is immense. Families separated, children's schooling disrupted, financial obligations left hanging. The fear of being locked out of their lives weighs heavily on every decision. Google's warning is a shield, urging caution in a landscape where travel is simply too risky. For many, the cost of leaving is just too high. The crisis stems from a crucial distinction: visa status versus visa stamp.
Google sponsors foreign workers through H-1B, securing legal status from USCIS. But to travel and re-enter the US, a physical visa stamp is needed, issued only at embassies abroad.
The process requires leaving the US, applying online, paying a fee, and scheduling an in-person interview.
The catch? You can't get a new stamp inside the US. You must leave, then face the backlog.
What was once a routine inconvenience is now a trap.
Workers must exit to renew, but risk being stuck abroad for months due to appointment shortages.
The system's assumption of easy access to appointments has collapsed. Now, the requirement to leave for a stamp is a bureaucratic catch-22. Employees risk their jobs and lives just to comply with the rules. The process, once predictable, is now a major source of anxiety and disruption.
Today's visa gridlock is the result of multiple converging crises. The pandemic triggered massive embassy shutdowns, creating a backlog that's never been cleared. As embassies reopened, they faced reduced staffing and new safety protocols, slowing recovery. Revenge travel after lockdowns unleashed a flood of new visa applications, overwhelming the system. All visa categories now compete for the same limited interview slots. The US hasn't expanded consular staff or resources to match demand. New immigration policies require more thorough vetting, making each case take longer. The result? Longer waits, more cases in limbo, and a system buckling under pressure. Without major investment and reform, delays are inevitable. The gridlock is now the new normal.
Recent US policy changes have made things even tougher for work visa holders. The government has introduced stricter vetting, including social media checks, slowing the process further. Consular officers now spend more time on each case, increasing the odds of extended security reviews. The cost of hiring foreign talent has skyrocketed, a new $100,000 fee for H-1B applications. While big companies might manage, smaller firms are priced out of the global talent market. These changes reflect a political climate increasingly skeptical of work-based immigration. Critics argue the H-1B program undercuts American workers, fueling tougher rules and higher costs. For tech companies and skilled workers, the landscape is now more unpredictable and unwelcoming. The combination of backlogs and policy shifts is chilling for international talent. The US is no longer the obvious destination for the world's best and brightest.
Extreme visa delays and stricter policies are shaking the foundations of US tech giants. These hurdles are not just minor inconveniences, they're fundamentally altering how companies operate, hire, and plan for the future. Every day, talented professionals face uncertainty about whether they can join their teams or even remain in the country. These companies depend on global talent to drive innovation and growth. The diversity of ideas and backgrounds is what fuels breakthroughs in technology, and without it, progress slows. The ability to attract the best minds from around the world has always been a cornerstone of American tech leadership.
When key staff are stuck abroad, projects stall, and competitive advantage slips away. Delays in onboarding or relocating employees can mean missed deadlines, lost contracts, and frustrated clients. The ripple effects are felt across entire teams and product lines.
The US is losing its appeal as other countries streamline immigration for skilled workers. Nations like Canada and Germany are actively courting tech talent, making it easier for professionals to settle and contribute quickly.
Top talent may now choose Canada, Germany, or the UK over the uncertainty of the US. These countries offer not just smoother immigration, but also a welcoming environment for innovation and entrepreneurship.
For current employees, travel restrictions cause burnout and push some to relocate permanently. The stress of not knowing if you can visit family or return to your job takes a toll on mental health and productivity.
Companies are forced to expand teams overseas, shifting investment and innovation out of the US. This means more resources are spent building up foreign offices and less on strengthening American operations.
Navigating global labor laws and taxes diverts resources from American operations. HR and legal teams must now juggle complex international regulations, which adds cost and slows down decision-making.
The long-term risk? Silicon Valley's status as the world's tech hub is at stake. If the trend continues, the region could lose its edge as the center of global innovation.
If the US becomes too difficult for global talent, innovation will follow the talent elsewhere. The next big breakthrough could happen in Toronto, Berlin, or London instead of California.
Google's warning is a signal. US immigration friction is now harming the nation's economic future. Tech leaders are sounding the alarm, urging policymakers to act before it's too late. The stakes for tech and the country have never been higher. The choices made today will shape the future of American innovation for decades to come.
Google's travel freeze highlights a deep, ongoing crisis for America's tech sector. The immediate problem: a broken visa system that traps essential workers and disrupts lives. Year-long waits and policy shifts send a clear message: foreign talent is less welcome.
Workers face impossible choices between career and family, living with constant anxiety.
This instability undermines America's promise as a land of opportunity for skilled immigrants. Google's warning is a canary in the coal mine for the entire U.S. economy. The inability to attract and retain global talent threatens America's competitive edge. Without major reforms, companies and talent may look elsewhere to build the future. The world's brightest minds could soon take their innovation and dreams beyond U.S. borders.